the tissue them there. Hi guys, and welcome back to our YouTube channel. This week we just want to tell you a big thank you for all the likes, the comments, the subscription, and we appreciate you for tuning in. So but pause, head on over again, like, share, comment, and subscribe, because this week we have another episode.
Oh, welcome to another episode of Twin Twisters. And today we have a very special guest, Miss Bougie Bear. Now, Bougie Bear is here for a reason. Today's episode is about trauma. So we're doing it a little different this week, guys. We're gonna get a little intimate and talk about some traumatic experience and how we deal with trauma and just some ways that can probably help you. But I must point out, the views expressed today are strictly for myself and Lady V, and it's not of a therapist or any medical practitioner. It's just how we deal with trauma, and perhaps it may help you or it may not help you. But guys, remember, we are the Twin Twisters and we twist everything, right? So today is no different. All right, Lady V, so we're gonna talk about trauma this week. What does trauma mean to you?
I think trauma is going through something that basically scar you for life. Something that you have to deal with, whether it be a manipulation, gaslighting, something where it takes a while for you to overcome. You have to seek some help or assistance to kind of get over those.
I agree with you, Lady V. I do agree, and whether I want to accept it or not, one of the things that are most traumatic for most persons are really relationships. Yeah. Relationships are really traumatic, like extremely traumatic, depending on who you are and how you deal with it. And, I think we need to probably share our experiences with our relationship trauma today. So, yeah. So, I'll share mine, and I think Lady V will share hers too. Something to point out though, trauma isn't necessarily just relationships. So you can have trauma in your personal life, you can have trauma at school, you can have trauma with your family, you can have trauma with your friends, you can have trauma with your pets. Like, I don't think there's a cap on what can traumatize you. So many different things can happen to kind of just impact your life. But today we will just share some traumatic experiences that we went through and how we overcame them, and why we're here today, sitting with you and talking on the Twin Twisters.
So, Twin, have you ever had any traumatic experience that you haven't pass or you get over? Like,
I do. So it was a long time ago. I was 12 years old. I was in grade 6. So we used to live in Kingston, and my mom was with a guy, so I'd call him my stepdad. And at the time, he would gamble and he would win a lot. Like, him always a win cash pot, him always a win stuff. And at the point, it was during Christmas, so it's like we had a lot of money in the house, or so they thought. So one night it was raining and me and mommy alone, we were home. So she went around the back to take up a pan or something, and usually, because I'm an only child and I'm here and her alone, I was just standing at the start of the door, and she was coming back in, and she wipe off her foot, and then I just hear she go, boy! And then, like, by the time I look, it was 2 guys, and they had on cloaks and everything, and them just push her into the house, and them say, yo, no, don't move, and whatever, and then push us into the house, and then they tied us up. They put us on the bed, they tied us up. So my face was down, her face was down, and they started to ransack the house because they were looking for the money. Because he win the money and it was known, they thought the money was in the house. But he wasn't there at the time. He actually went on the road for something. So they were in the house and they're searching and they can't find it. And like at one point, it was so strange. So he came back, and when he came back, And he came through the door, they knocked him out. So when they knock him out, they tied him up. Because my man, we are woman, so them never so rough with we like how them. So them use the phone card and tie him up on the sheet and wrap up his face because they didn't want us to see him. So while they're there looking and searching, like I'm lying on the bed and I'm like, oh Lord. So this is the end of my life because I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what was going to happen. I had a little friend at the time. She came by too. And when she came by, they just draw her inside like nothing. So them draw her in and tie her up too. So it was the four of us that was tied up in the house, and we're there and they're ransacking the house looking. And then I remember one of the time I said to the guy, I'm thirsty, and him say, where you want for drink? I'm gonna say water in the fridge. So him untie me, and when him untie me, him give me the water. But it wasn't water that he gave me. It had lemonade, so him give me the lemonade. And I remember when him give me, I say, you know, Timisha, it best you just turn around and just put on back your head like you don't see anything. They stole all the phones, but my phone, because me a long time me not put my phone on ring. So God was good, my phone was not on ring. It was on vibrate and it was in the chair. So in the chair, it was hidden. So they never got my phone. And we were there for probably like an hour and a half. And when they left, because I wasn't tied up anymore, I didn't hear any shuffling, so I looked around and I never saw them. So I got up and I untied mommy, I untied the guy, I untied my friend, and then mommy was shaking. And luckily, the phone, as I said, the phone is on vibrate. So she took up the phone and she called the police. And you know, I think in that moment, prior to that, I thought I was the scariest child on earth. Like, I thought I was always a coward. But I think in that moment, I was so brave. Because I remember the policeman saying to me, how come you're not crying? But I was like in a state of shock that I was just too shocked to cry. I was too shocked to laugh. I was just like just there staring at the whole thing. And I mean, this is like so long ago and I still remember it like yesterday. So like I'm talking to you now and I remember these guys coming in through the back door. I remember them bed tying us up. I remember when he came in and you could hear him and them struggling and you know like and then them tie him up. And then when my friend come and she called mommy and them just draw her in, and you know it was just so much. But I mean, that situation taught me that I think that was my first shot at knowing how strong I am as an individual. And I think that's one of the things that trauma teaches you. So trauma teaches you to be strong. And it's really what you make of the situation. So you can decide, is it that, will I use my trauma to determine if I become a coward? Or will I use my trauma to determine if I'm going to be a stronger person in life? What will my trauma make of me? And I think at that point, I chose strength for my trauma because I needed to be strong. Because in that moment, I was the only person that wasn't tied up. And I needed to secure my mom. If anybody else, it was always my mom for me. So I had to secure her. So, you know, at that moment, it was like, I think it's like fight or fly. And I chose to just, I fought. I think I fought by being strong and not crying and acting like a little baby. You know, I put on my big girl. I put on my big girl pants and I step up to the place. I think I did.
Red Riding was fun.
Yeah, girl. I think I stepped up to the plate. Yeah.
But how did you manage after that to see that from high school? Because you'd have been in high school at the time. Or
I just started.
How did it affect you going forward?
So for a very long time, I'm not gonna lie, I was afraid. I would see persons that had like similar body type to these guys, and I would say, I wonder, because as I said, they had on hoodies and stuff. So it's like I say, I wonder if I them. I mean, say, and you know, I would say, I wonder if they're gonna come back. But the good thing about it is that we moved probably like a couple months later. We didn't stay there long, so we moved from Kingston to Portmore. So I never had to encounter them at any point after that. But mind you, whilst out into the world, when I saw guys with similar body type, it's like in my mind, I'm like, is that them? Do they remember me? Are they gonna attack me? And you know, in my mind, I'm like, what do I do? How am I gonna, like, if them attack me, what do I do? One of them gonna say to me and say, hey, you girl, you tell the police you're we or whatever, you know? But luckily, I've never encountered them. I don't even know. I don't know. I don't know what them look like now. I don't know if them. I don't know. I don't know. But we would have passed that, and I think the greatest part of that for me was that I left that area, so I wasn't there. So perhaps if I was still there, it would have impacted my mental state more. So like when me I walk home at evening time, or if I'm gonna have to come home at night time, I would be so afraid. But I wasn't there. I wasn't there for long after. So I don't think it impacted me as bad as it probably would have impacted someone else. So Lady V, do you have any trauma stories you want to share? Okay. I'm gonna pass Bougie Bear to you to help you to tell your story. She helped me.
So back in high school, you normally have like boyfriend. So my aunt left at a point in time, kind of trouble, and I was staying with my auntie. I met this guy I didn't really like, but at the age of was it 16 thereabouts, you're in fifth form or going to fifth form.
Yeah.
So I met him and we were talking at the time, and he would have helped me with my SPAs and my assignments, and we kind of formed a friendship first, and then we got to. But apparently there was a dark side of it. So I remember one day my girlfriends and I from school we went to kind of just chill, and we all left. But then the following week I went back. So normally I have a little boyfriend and would have give a little lunch money or a little bus fare kind of home or something. But I remember there was a trigger. I either said something or I did something that he did. And I realized that it went from 0 to 100 real quick. I got up and I said, I'm ready to leave. I want to leave right now because I'm not going to stay here. I got up and I reached at the grill and I felt my hand grab and I felt the squeezing. I started to get nervous and I said, can you let me go? Because my father never licked me, my mother didn't lick me. And she would have bust my ass, certain things, but I wasn't the person getting it all the time. Eventually, he did, and I left. Knowing that you're young, you wouldn't want to experience something like that. So I went home and I kind of sat down and I continued. And I don't want. I called him and I said, I think I'm going to end the relationship because, or whatever it is. But I feel like at some point in time you'll probably end up with me. Fast forward to school where we actually started study grouping and stuff. So we normally leave from school and walk to half a tree, bus park and stuff like that. And I remember my girlfriend, my best friend and my other girlfriend were walking right on half a tree on here. And my best friend said, Veronica, don't turn around. And I said, why? And she said, he's right behind you. Don't turn around. 9 sharp. I don't know if this man had a location tracker or something, or he knew something, or somebody tell him something about me or whatever.
So like a stalker.
So he approached and my best friend said to him, say, yo, back up because you don't need to talk to her. I just want to talk to her, I just want to ask her, I just want to meet her, that. So he spoke to me and he walked me. We all walked to half a tree right at the bus park where the lines poster them, the boulevard poster them. And I remember I said to him, really and truly it's not going to work, I'm not going to do it, etc. And he doubled his fist at the time and he punched the sign. There was a stop sign right at the bus stop right there and he punched the sign. Sign shake till alerted persons and turn around. He went home the night. I don't know what he told his mom, and his mom called and asked him another chance. A bad person, etc. If you had a daughter, said no. But then she started to say his father used to abuse her. His father was an alcoholic. His father smoked and drank and weed and well, there's the answer. And I think for about 3 weeks I got stalked, phone rang off constantly, begging, crying. I would see pop-ups in notification. It left me in a pickle because I wondered if this person was going to hurt me in a way, till my aunt decided that she was going to just have me come on post for a while until
Sound like a stalker. Your very own stalker edition. You know what happened to him after that?
after that, I saw him after that, like one time in half a tree, and he walked up to me, bleach out, ear cane raw, smoking and all these things. That feel good. When did we reach at this point? It's just a transition, and I think I'd asked him what happened, and he said he got a daughter. Was working as a barber at the time. Life wasn't doing well for him. I'm not sure what it is now, but I hope he figures it.
I hope he does too, for even the sake of his daughter. And it sounds like he needs to talk to somebody, because he may need to seek some help.
Men are afraid to talk to somebody about their problems. So I don't.
You know, society did that, right? Because his mom called you, so she knew what her son was doing. And instead of to sit and talk with him, she's calling you to rationalize his behavior, to say, listen, because his dad does it, it's okay. So you should facilitate him too. I mean, as female, and for myself as a mom of a son, I want my son to know that it's okay to be emotional. Nothing is wrong with showing emotion. It doesn't make you weak as a man. And I wish more men would know that nothing is wrong with being emotional, You just don't need to overdo it. But when men keep things bottled inside, them act out and they do all kind of stuff. Yeah. I think more men really need to tap into that side, and they need to not be afraid. And you see, even that thing that the girl said the other day about man must carry them stress. Yeah, man, all up your stress, sir.
No.
Believe in that. No.
All of your stress.
No. If you're in a relationship with a man, once you are in the relationship, as his woman, you have a right to help him. Help the man carry him stress. What do you mean? He might help you carry your own, so why you can't help him carry him own? Help the man help him stress, man. Help him help him stress. Good man deserve help. So me see it. That is it.
But really do it to him. Some trauma you just have to laugh with. Because I remember, funny enough, going on a date with that guy. Me said the guy would have picked me up from home at morning time. And how it started, I was on my way to work and he saw me and he stopped and he said, offer tree. And I said, what is man of people? But he had on a white suit. So I thought he was a pilot. But he wasn't. I don't want a pilot now. So anyways, he would carry me to work in the morning, like drop me off or something. Him see me and like me and whatever. So one day him say, I'm gonna carry on a date. My shop leave work early and he couldn't pick me up because he did work late. Leave from work I should say, and I reached home, put myself together and stuff, and he picked me up from home. Alright. Remember Cuddy's?
Yeah, remember Cuddy's in there.
Cuddy's was the hit spot at that time. Reach Cuddy's now, and so me know my belly and me know my limit. So me not going no restaurant and take up no shrimp, no lobster, none of them. Some of them at my pockets there. Some buy wings and one drink. All if you see the man buy one beer. So then Mr. Steve said, aren't you eating anything? You're not drinking anything? He said, no man, the beer is fine. I said, alright then, fine. not put nothing to him
Red
now.
flag.
But not think about that. So anyways, we did our talk and everything and stuff like that, and the man said, just the thing that I'm ready. I think I'm ready. And the girl come with the bill, tell her to carry the bill. So now me wait for the man to give me for the money for pay. Only here. Why? I left my wallet in the car. What? You left your wallet in the car? Your what? I left him wallet in the car. The car there all the way around the road so I go back. Say, you know what? Me pay. I pay for my drink and my food. I'm gonna leave him right there. I pay for him there. I'm gonna walk out. Because ain't no way you're gonna carry me on a date and tell me that I must pay out of my pockets. So when I walked out, he walked behind me and he said, so you ready to go? I said, no, I'm gonna take myself, take a taxi go to my yard. This date has come to an end. That was it. I didn't see him, I don't hear from him, I don't text, I don't call, because that it was the only day to prove your point if you did work to get into the kitty or not, or if you even let the relationship continue, but it's never worth it. He said I was wrong.
What do you mean by you're
I
wrong?
did wrong to block him and not talk to him because he tried.
He tried what? What did he try?
He tried for pay, but he just
So I'm not understanding. Him tried to pay. Him come, so he drove to Cody's, parking at the parking lot, walk go up the stairs them and left him wallet in the car.
Yeah.
While him that sit on the beer, never remember, so the wallet's not the car for go back for it.
No.
Oh, but him try.
But you know the worst thing was the money that they have paid.
Girl, you
Try a BMW.
lie she
But
tells.
my definition of BMW is better me walk. Better me walk. If you know you have a BMW, you cannot afford certain things. Better you walk. Better you walk. But after that, I didn't talk to him. I've seen him after, and just go separate ways because it never made no sense. Trauma.
So you overcome that trauma, the twin?
I just know that for me, I always have to get next money, no matter what. So we use that, get next money. So if you drop the ball, me always know how to catch myself. You not tricking me at all. You cannot trick me. You never trick me in this life. I am going to ensure that I have my money, I have my card, or something, but I always have a backup. So if it's a backup one fail, or plan B fail, I have a plan C. In this life, you cannot trust certain things. Them give the good looks, no, and later down the line, they are snakes.
Alright guys, so some traumas are more impactful than others. Some leave you scarred not just in the moment, but scarred for life. Now we are going to look at some traumas that have basically scarred us. I guess at the end you can decide based on what we say we've done if we're healed or if we're still in the healing process or if we still need to heal a little bit more, right? So Lady V, you want to go first or you want me to go first?
Alright, so I dated this guy. It started from my Facebook. You know the song saying, "Can I get your number, girl?" That was the message. But didn't rush into anything. We're actually friends first, and over time we started dating. We spoke and got to know the basics and everything. Started to start a relationship. I don't know what I didn't experience in that relationship that has taught me had to relearn certain things and kind of learn from out. So started off really good, really good. Gifts, messages, checking in, all of that. And then I realized that after a point in time, he started to have trust issues. Trust issues meaning that I'd have to video call the person, hold the phone, show where I am, what I'm doing, all of that. At work, I'm gonna leave work late. I had to do a video call. I have to say, hey, I'm at work, working overtime, I'm late. But you know, say you're in love and stuff, say you just want. Listen, persons told me that, hey, know the person, it's alone, but still your head tough. You want to prove a point, or you just say you're in love, you're blinded by love. I remember the first time the jealousy section came in. I had a friend, I was at work and my friend, we were on video call at the time. And I did something for my friend where I brought something to his mom where I was at work. And he came and he hugged me up behind and kissed me. The call ended. I got blocked from Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, everything. Everything I got blocked from. And I tried reaching out and the person said I was cheating. That wasn't. Fast forward into everything. So after that he realized that hey, I did something wrong, that. Anyways, I remember traveling for one time and went to Victoria's Secret to buy a bra. But you know you're traveling you haven't traveled in such a long time, you know, you're trying to get the experience and stuff. Bought my ticket and I said, okay, great, you know, it's nice. And I remember when we left Victoria's Secret Target and I saw a really nice orange bra that I liked and I wanted it. Said, what you want? Buy the bra. And that. You just buy one present from Victoria's Secret and walk for it. And I'm like, but I like the bra. You could have just spent the money and buy one of the Victoria's Secret bra, but I like the bra. When we reached back to the apartment, I got a long tongue of explicits and cursing and everything. I cried in that bed that night because I felt so small. The person who was supposed to be protecting me made me feel as if I was. If I had gotten paid that day or the night when I bought the bra, I would have booked my flight and that was what I had done. I realized that I started losing terms of my savings started to drain because I was minding somebody. And I started to neglect myself. You know, they said that a man who's separated from your friends and your family and stuff. I started to do that. And also, I realized that I had so much anger in me that I never had. And it's true what they say, the person that you date brings out either the best side of you or the worst side of you. It started getting really bad. I started getting accused of cheating. And then one day we're on the phone and he said that he's likely. The person I am, I'm going to. I paid the light bill. And then I realized yeah, do this. Anyways, because of where I worked, started looking at vehicles. Gonna buy a vehicle. Mind sharp, the vehicle where I'm gonna buy, I go there with him there and me I walk him.
And are you for buy the vehicle?
I'm here for buy the vehicle, so I'm here to pay the loan. So when I said to him, but when I buy the vehicle, where the vehicle I'm going to have it. I'm going to carry my mom here and it. Me, I pay for it. So I shut down that argument totally. I remember it kept coming up into conversations, and I keep shutting it down because I know that push come to shove, the money will come out of my pocket. So I left that. The last straw was when I started makeup school. He had asked me to send some money, which he had sent me for him. And I was supposed to go to the ceremony. I got up early and I left. And I went to the ceremony, but the one in Hamburg was not working because of my shift. I went to class and then I said I was going to leave class and then send him. His response was, you make time for do what you want to do, and anytime he asks if you do nothing, it's like you don't want to do it, you're selfish. Point in time I realized that I am now losing myself. We stopped talking for a while, probably like a month or two, because of an earphone argument. Though I'm not earphone and me must buy the earphone. And sharp he's traveling and not bad. My credit card started to drain because he was using my card and wasn't paying back on it. So any money when he sent me, I put back on the credit card. But I was stealing, as he said. That's what I was doing. So me paying back on my card was stealing. So when I did that, my birthday came around when my friends had invited him. And he said, "Now come over with my friend, then come friend for like him." He came up from where he was and stayed over. And we got in an argument, I remember, the night. And he got up, said something, and slammed the door. I don't know what triggered me, but I knew something was off. I took the phone. It was a iPhone 6s at the time, and I sailed it across. Got a chip on his screen. He said, "I have you." I said, "Okay, but by the morning I need to leave." We didn't end it. So after the going, I started to focus on myself a little more. I lost weight. I started to do what Veronica came back. Time he was traveling, and to help to pay for the plane. I did send back the money to pay for it. So December he came back, and before he came back, we had an argument, and he said, "Pack up my stuff them, and Express is gonna pick them up." I gladly did. I packed up everything that I had for him in the house, put them in a little box, and I said to him, "They're outside on the road. You can come for them." I don't know what his friend said to him. He called me back and he said, "You know, when I come back, I'll collect them." We went to backyard barbecue, that was the party. And we were there, dance and everything. And we went to eat. And I said to him, you know, normally we will do New Year's parties. And I said, this year I want you to stay home and kind of have a family time. And said, "No, I boy, auntie. I got embarrassed in the party. That person started to look at me. That started to cry. And he walked off. I went back home and I packed my bag. After that, he called me and he said, "You owe me some money." And I said, "How much money do I owe you? Because I don't recall owing you anything." He said the account was wiped and I stole from him. And I said, "But you used my credit card," and I gave all the statements of everything. And he said, "I forged everything. I made it up. I altered them. I tampered with it." I said, "Okay, no problem." What broke me was the fact that I had to take out a loan to pay back this guy because he tricked me. tell me that my friends are gonna come for you. Mind sharp, I went through emotional abuse. I went not physical, mentally. I was scarred. I was scarred to the point that I felt like everything I did was not enough. I was not enough. I was doing everything wrong. And what I was doing, everything that I did from that day until I left the relationship. I don't know if a person or a guy spoke to me how I would have reacted because I had so much anger in me. I remember the night when we finally ended, when he called me and he said, "What have I done to you?" Tears in his eyes. And I sat on the phone and I looked at myself and said, "Veronica, you deserve better, you deserve more, and you don't deserve this because there's nothing in this relationship that you took from this relationship that would have said you were better." Fast forward to now, I still have traumatic experience in terms of how somebody will talk to me in terms of controlling my life because he was so controlling, he was so manipulative. And I made a vow to myself that I would never let a man control me in that way where I feel as if I will lose myself again. Because I lost who I was, I lost the fun person, I lost the caring person, I lost the person who would have gone above and beyond the person because somebody who I trusted tore me down piece by piece. And that's what I don't think over time you would get over it but not fully there. I guess overcoming my challenges or my situation was that I walked away and left and just moved forward. I did therapy, so that kind of helped me overcome mine. What about you?
Why, Lady V? Guys, if I was to tell you my trauma, I'd need a whole episode because it would be hours on hours on hours, and you'd be traumatized as much as I was traumatized. But what I will say though is that my trauma shaped me into the young lady that I am today. It's because of my trauma and overcoming my trauma that I sit here today as the bougie baddie. And one of the things I want us to take away about trauma is that will your trauma define you or will you allow your trauma to cripple you? I allowed my trauma to define who I am. And who I am is I am a strong, black, phenomenal young lady. And so is Lady V. I'm sure her trauma helped to shape the lady that she is too. So I will encourage everyone to look at your trauma and determine if it will shape you or break you. And that's what I'd say about trauma.
I guess with me, I'll say whatever situation you're in and you realize that it's not for you, just to walk away because it can only affect you mentally as you go along. But with that being said, I think it's time to close out this heavy session.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And I agree. So with that being said, guys, we want to thank you for joining us today on another episode of Twin Twisters. We are going to end on a very somber mood today, and we encourage you to like, share, subscribe, and just interact with our video. Until next time, when we see you again, take care.
To lose.